Hey everybody, it's Kim the Crafty Nomad, and I'm back with another episode of Squared Up Saturday. And you guys know I am Kim the Crafty Nomad, your host. And they call me the Crafty Nomad because I am all over the place when it comes to my crafting, which basically means I go from craft to craft to craft. I have some things that I consistently do, but I am always open to something new. And but today we are here to talk about all of my modular blankets that are made up of squares or sort of squares. Now, I'm going to say from the beginning that we didn't make any progress on the Christmas blanket because we're ahead of the game. I think we have 10 squares and we're doing 3 squares a month. So we're ahead of the game on that one. So I felt okay with not doing anything on that one this week. Now, when you watch me tomorrow, when you come back tomorrow for Sunday Shenanigans, you'll see most of what I've been up to. But if you watched today, Hook and Stitch Live with Kim and Chris, you saw a couple of the things that I finished. So, but I do have more to share, at least one more thing to share tomorrow and to talk about. Yeah, I think I feel like I had Leopold. I feel like I had 4 finishes this week. I shared 2 of them today. One I will not show, but I'll talk about. And then there's one more to share for tomorrow. So but I'll show the ones I showed today tomorrow as well. Anyway, come back tomorrow for Sunday Shenanigans to see more of what I've been up to. But for today, I do have progress on Jordan's blanket. I'm actually going to show you my progress on Ivy Cottage. It's not a lot. And also, what else are we going to share you? I brought out one of those books that I got from thriftbooks.com, and I'm going to share a little bit more of it with you today. So let's get started. All right, so as you know, I'm making the circle to square granny squares that are from the website. The tutorial is from the blog of Just Be Crafty, and I'll link it. And so I'm using blanket yarn. I'm using Bernat blanket in the colorway something purple. There's a black, and there's vapor gray. And then there's a vapor gray tweed, or confetti is what they call it. So all of that is what you will see in the blanket. So the last time we met, I had 4 strips. I had laid them out. And so when I laid them out a certain way, not using my phone, so I won't be able to pop up a picture. I'm actually using the camera that I use for the live since we're already set up here. I just wanted to go ahead and get this done. So sorry about that, but you've seen it. You've seen the layout before. And what I did was I looked at the last strip of 5 and I determined which colors I would make next based on that strip, since this one's going to butt up right against it and I don't want 2 borders that are the same to be right next to each other. So here is what I completed. And I already put them together, wove in the ends. So here's square number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and I actually think I did this backwards, and number 5. So I think it's going to go this way, actually. It's going to go like this because I remember when I laid it out, I was like, I think it's a lot of burgundy on that side. But anyway, it's going to be laid out like this, butting right up against the next. And I'm using like a darker gray blanket yarn to single crochet them together. This is what it looks like on the back. So the ends that have to be woven in are the ends from the crocheting them together. And I'm just using a darker gray. On the front, it does come through, but it's just like adds a different color, which I really love. This blanket, Jordan's gonna love it. Even just holding it right now, it feels so good because it's a little bit cool in the apartment today. But you know, I go from being too cold to too hot. But that is a progress. So last week I only had 2. I added 3 more and I put my strip together. So I think that's what I'm going to do. As soon as I get to 5, I'm going to put the strip together. Now, initially, if I go with the original plan, I said that I was going to do 30 squares. This makes 25 squares. I actually think I'm going to make one more strip because, again, I want him to be able to use it into adulthood. Hopefully it will last. But I do want him to be able to use it. So I think he's going to be a big dude. So I want to make it a little bit longer. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to add 2 more rows of 5, which means I need 10 more squares before I will put this thing together. And then I will be off to making a border. So that's that for that one. Okay, so it's coming along. Now, the next thing that I am working on is the memory blanket. And this is a, hold on. It is a 12-month blanket by Luli's Crochet. Her name is Alyssa, but her handle on Instagram is Luli's Crochet. I'll link her. That's the blanket in the picture. And so I have begun the March square. Now, let me show you what it's going to look like when it's done. That is the March square. Okay. And we are using the Suzette stitch. And I have it in this, just in this big Trader Joe bag because it's on those yarn holders. So I'm keeping those here. And let me find my square that I have started. So as a reminder, since I have them here, I will remind you of January. And then this one is February. Now, this one is the one where I felt like I had some issues because it came out a little bit smaller than the other one. And I was like, well, is it my tension? Is it the fact that I used a different, I changed hooks when I continued on. I used a different hook on the first one. And I changed to my furls when I started this one. And so I'm going to continue using the furls just to see, okay, when this one gets done, is it the hook or was it just my tension? I think it was my tension because already, so this is my March square so far. And it's already bigger across. It's going to be bigger. It's clearly going to be bigger. Without a border, it's almost the same width of the February square. So I believe that it is truly, truly my tension. And see the way this one is made, we do have 2 separate strands of the black. And I'm just going from the inside and the outside on the same ball to get those 2 stripes up the middle. And I actually really like the Suzette stitch. I made a whole blanket last year and I gifted it to my cousin when she had her baby. With that stitch, it's a beautiful stitch. It's a beautiful texture that you get. And these are all Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway black and in the colorway white for those. So that's the progress on that. So that's doing well. The other blanket that I wanted to share with you guys is my Ivy Cottage. And as you remember, Ivy Cottage is from this book, Afghans for All Seasons. And this one is published by Oxmoor House. And Chris pulled out one of these books. She has an Afghans for All Seasons, but it is from Leisure Arts. Mine is not from Leisure Arts. So, actually, Chris, take it back. It is. It's a collab between Leisure Arts and Oxmoor House when I opened it up. I kind of had a feeling I had that wrong, and I did. It is from Leisure Arts, but it's with Oxmoor House as well. So let me find Ivy Cottage. And like I said, when I shared this book with you last week, it's broken up into winter, spring, summer, and fall. Ivy Cottage is a part of the summer. So I'm working on that. Hold on 1 second. Let me pause a second. Okay, so I've been talking all morning. I was on live for 2 hours, took a break, had some lunch. Now my husband and son are gone to get his haircut. Excuse me. And now my throat is like, you've been talking all day, girl. All right, so that's Ivy Cottage. I share with you guys that I'm making Ivy Cottage for my mother. Let's take a sip. She wanted something red, so I'm using Lion Brand Pound of Love in the colorway Cherry, 100% acrylic, number 4 weight, and I'm using a J hook. And I can't remember where I was last time, and I didn't watch my video, and I didn't put a stitch marker to it, but I will this time so that I'll know how far I've gotten. But it's a little bit bigger. So yeah, it does look kind of rust, but it is cherry, definitely red. Okay, it's definitely red, and it's great. It's not hard at all. It's just one of those things though that, again, like I said, you cannot it's never going to be mindless. I have to pay attention to my pattern every single time. Now the pattern repeat is row 4 through 12, so it's 4 through 11. So you work it over 8 rows, but when you are done with each row repeat, you have 2 leaves. Okay, and I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is halfway, because you're going to have 24. When it's all said and done, there will be 24 leaves. So this is halfway done. This is for my mother. It doesn't really have a timeline. Her birthday is in October. Christmas, it could be for her birthday or Christmas. But it's coming along, and I'm really, really enjoying this. I enjoy it so much. I mostly enjoy the fact that I can do it, like that. I don't have to be intimidated by this pattern. Like in the past, I would have definitely been intimidated. I'm weird with the yarn right there. All right, so that's Ivy Cottage. It is coming along, and what I did was I took, since I finished my mile a minute, I replaced it, and I put all the yarn for the Ivy Cottage in here. I have 3 of these in here. It truly does look rust in the camera, but it is for sure. The colorway is cherry. Alright, so those are the projects for Square It Up Saturday. Now, what I want to do is I wanted to share with you guys another one of the books that I got from thriftbooks.com, because I got 5, and I told you guys that I showed you all of them, but I said I would go through and give you a little bit of information more on each one. So this is the next one. It's called Red Heart Afghans and Crochet Classics. And this one, I'm trying not to put it on the table because I will shake the camera. This one is published by Oxmoor House alone. No, it's not a collaboration with Leisure Arts. This one is Oxmoor House, and this one was published in 1996. Now, here's what's very cool about this. What they've done is they have literally, in this book, some of these patterns are updates on some of their old patterns. So I'm going to try to get, and it's not all Afghans. Like, look, There's actually a sweater in here. There is so this is a bobble blanket, which I'm sure is a huge yarn eater. But they also have a pattern for a rug to match. And I can't really show it without showing you the pattern, so hopefully. So that's cool, right? And then some other things that they've done. I'm trying to get to one. Okay. So for instance, this blanket is called Crystal Crosses. And it is made up of, let's see, how many of these bad boys do you have to make? Lord have mercy, you have to make 600 of these motifs. Now, they are only 3 rounds, but for real though, that's a lot. But this is one of the ones that is actually an update on an old pattern. So, look at this. Every so often you get one of these in this book. And they put this little blurb about the original pattern. So it says a look back. This darling Afghan pattern was first published in 1952. It was titled Sugar and Spice, and it was stitched using soft pastel colors. And they used something called Chadwick's Red Heart baby wool. So apparently it was made with wool, and now they've updated it, and this is Red Heart sport weight yarn that they use for this pattern. And that is not, I find that so interesting. That's not on every pattern in here, but like I said, look, there's a sweater in here. But that's not on every pattern in here, but quite a few of them are updates on, and they tell you when the original was, so here's another one. This one is called Sparkling Gems. And to me, this one looks so complicated. It's laid out like a quilt. But look at this. And it's knitted. No. It was knitted. Well, it says knitted, but it's a crochet pattern. So here is the look back. Okay? I find this so interesting. It says a look back. It was from this, it was from the Crocheted Afghans Knitted. It says Afghans Crocheted Knitted. Book number 83. And it costs 10 cents. This innovative setting of simple shapes worked in easy single crochet dates back to the 1930s. This pattern is from one of the oldest books published by Red Heart, but the Afghan is just as engaging in today's decor, which for this book was 1996. But I mean, I love that they did that. And there's quite a few of them in here. Some of them are not. Some of them are not, they are not showing us exactly, but I'll try to find one more where it's a throwback. Anyway, look at this. This is not, is this a throwback? This one is not one of the throwbacks, but look at how cute this is. That's a bunch of squares, and you do some color work for the ponies. Or are they unicorns? I think they're ponies from a merry-go-round. Yeah. But let me try to find just one more. One more that's a throwback. It's not, like I said, it's not all of them. But That seems like that should be a throwback, but it's not. I may go back and show you that one. Okay, here's one. Star Stitched Stripes. That's the pattern that's in the book as of 1996. It says a look back, but it doesn't really tell you when they did this one, but that's the look back right there. Alright, let's see. One more. If I can find one more, that's a throwback. Okay. So, like I said, this is called Afghans and Crochet Classics. So, some of this is not Afghans. Here's a cropped cardigan. It says, spruce up a teenager's wardrobe with a fancy textured sweater. Flared sleeves and a waist-length crop create a stylish silhouette. Refer to page 1, blah, 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 blah. So this one is Broomstick Lace. Now, keeping in mind, this was published in 1996, I believe is what I said. And even in 1996, I'm not sure what teenager would have worn that. I mean, I guess maybe if you didn't bell the sleeves, maybe a teenager would have worn it. But this kid even looks too old. Like, they made her look old with it to me. But that is the updated 1996 pattern. And let me show you the look back on this one. And this will be the last one I'll show you. And I actually think it looks better in the look back. Because it's on an older woman. You know, she's not old, but really she's grown. And that's really more what that fits. I think it's too blurry. You might not be seeing it very well. A look back. Moving the buttons all the way down the front of this bed jacket was the only alteration needed to transform it into the trendy cropped top shown on page 91. And the broomstick lace stitch, which peaked in popularity during the 1970s, seems to be on its way back in 1996, is what they were saying. Okay, hopefully it will zero in and not be blurry. Anyway, I find this book so interesting. It's got Christmas items. It's got ornaments. It's got some cool, oh my goodness, I would never, quilt inspired. It's got some wonderful things in here. Things that, like, some things I'm like, who wore that in 1992, 96? But I find this book so interesting because they put their throwback patterns and showed the original patterns within the book. So I found this one to be quite an interesting book. What will I want to try out of here? I actually want to try the cover. And quite a few of the Afghans, I think I wouldn't mind giving a shot to. There's a not a corner to corner, but another strip style. Is this the strip? Yeah. This is a strip style blanket. So yeah. Very cool. I thoroughly enjoyed it, that book, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I still have 3 more books to share with you from that thrift books haul. So every Saturday when I do Squared Up Saturday, I will throw some of that in. Anyway, I think that's going to be it. That's going to be all. I'll be back on tomorrow for Sunday Shenanigans. We finished the live today. You can go back and watch that. So there's 2 videos today. And yeah. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for spending time with me. I know that you got many choices, and I thank you for choosing me for a little bit of your time today. I'll see you in the next video. Until we meet again, keep it crafty. Bye, guys.